Hello Year 9 and welcome to this flipped video. Today we will be looking at the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905 as part of our last point in Depth Study 2, Asia and the World. In this video we will be looking at knowledge of the Russo-Japanese War, and in the following lesson we will be identifying different perspectives of the event. To begin, the war was fought between Russia, led by Tsar Nicholas II, and Japan, led by Emperor Meiji. Context to the war. There was a history of ongoing tensions between Russia and Japan over territory, specifically the regions of Korea and Manchuria. On the map, you can see Korea in orange and Manchuria in purple. Manchuria is now part of northeastern China. It's also important to note that at the beginning of the 20th century, Asian nations were considered inferior, so Russia entered the war thinking it would be an easy victory. Causes of the war. In 1904, Japan proposed a settlement with Russia over the two countries' claims to Korea. Russia rejected this proposal, resulting in Japan attacking the Russian fleet in Port Arthur. Russia had hoped to provoke war with Japan for three reasons. Firstly, territorial expansion in Asia, specifically those two regions we just looked at, Korea and Manchuria. Secondly, to obtain a new port, as Russia's ports froze over in the winter due to its location near the Arctic. The last reason was as a distraction from Russia's internal issues, particularly growing discontent with the Tsar's autocratic rule. Course of the war. The war was fought in 1904 and 1905. Major battles included the Battle of Port Arthur, which began the war in 1904. The Battle of Mukden, fought from February to March 1905, saw Russia losing the important Manchurian town of Mukden to Japan. The Battle of Tsushima, fought in May 1905, was particularly humiliating for Russia, as its navy was pretty much obliterated. The war ended soon after this battle. Outcome of the war. Russia was defeated by Japan and forced to sign the Treaty of Portsmouth. As part of this treaty, it lost Korea, Manchuria, and Port Arthur to Japan. So why was this war significant? It was the first time an Asian nation had defeated a European power in modern history. The war was also significant because of the major casualties suffered by both sides. The Japanese army saw over 47,000 killed, with an additional 11,500 dying from disease. Russia also suffered heavy casualties, but it's important to note that Russia had a much larger population than Japan at the time, so Japan lost a greater proportion of its population to the war. I would like you to consider this question before we get to class on Thursday. Why is it important for historians to consider multiple perspectives of a historical event? It's important that you consider this question because in class we will be discussing these different perspectives of the Russo-Japanese War. Thanks for listening and see you in class.